One. Hey everyone, if you like combat sports such as MMA, karate, kickboxing, etc., make sure to like, share, subscribe button too. The Drewsperience podcast on all platforms. Just want to say thanks to one of the supporter sponsors, Kyokushin Boucherville, the fastest growing Kyokushin dojo in Quebec, where quality comes first with an amazing community and training. And with that today, my guest today he is a veteran in the game. Not only a veteran, but he's fought around the world. He's fought an Icon, Ryzen, bare knuckle, UFC, and just recently had a great win and showing at XMMA. You think he's a karate fighter, but karate is just one of the bases. He knows how to wrestle. He knows how to grapple. He's the one, the only, fresh off a win off XMMA, from last week. He is the one, the only Justin Tank Scoggins. Welcome to the show, Justin.
Hey, thank you for the introduction. That was sick, man. It's good to see you.
Yeah, you too, man. Awesome win, by the way. So how are we feeling after that win last week?
Dude, I'm feeling really good, man. Feeling good. You know, what can you say? You get the win, you go in there, you get the job done. Can't ask for much more than that.
Exactly, man. No, it was amazing because you obviously showed that you're not only a karate fighter, because people have watched your fights, like you have that front step kick that Wonder Boy has. Hence, some say, yo, he's the flyweight Wonder Boy. But you showed that I can wrestle, I can grapple, I can take this fight anywhere you want.
Absolutely, dude. And actually, it's funny. Like some people, I've always heard people say it's like, oh, he's like the flyweight Wonder Boy. He's like a smaller Wonder Boy or whatever. I mean, I've also heard a small gust of sin, but my style, yeah, definitely. The reason you see that Wonder Boy influence is because when I was 3 years old, that's when I started karate. My older brother started, and my parents started me at the same time. So I started in those little dragons class at Upstate Karate, right? And just kind of getting used to, having balance, having your hands up and actually hitting stuff. Really great class for little kids, 3 and 4 year olds. Yeah. But my instructor was Ray Thompson.
No way. No. So that's where you have that same get out.
Yeah. So check this. You'll like this. I'm glad you like this. So one of the helpers in the class. So you'll have the head instructor, and then they got their helpers. And the helper was Steven Thompson. He was like 14 at the time when I was like 3. So yeah, it's crazy. I always had, dude, like I fell in love with with martial arts. You know what I mean? Luckily, it was like the first thing I tried. You know what I mean? Before football, baseball, anything, wrestling, anything, it was karate. And luckily, like my dad couldn't have found a better place. You know what I mean? And this was before Steven kickboxed or anything. So I get in there and I'm falling in love with karate, and I have this new role model. You know what I mean? Like, I'm like, holy shit, like this guy's awesome. You know what I mean? He's a cool guy. He's a good fucking martial artist. So, that influence, man, it was like having him to just watch spar every day. You know what I mean? Just like, yeah, I want to look like that when I strike. You know what I mean? Having that influence, and, then, getting older and going on and going different places and branching out to becoming a mixed martial artist and stuff. Like I'm happy I always have that base of it. You know what I mean? Like that's good roots for me.
No, it's very true. I mean, you obviously have so that's where the style comes from. It's crazy, like what Upstate has done. You got Steven, you have Steven's brothers who fought professionally even at one point, and then you have you coming out. So
yeah, my little brothers is in Bellator. Like,
oh, for real? Is he a
Yeah.
Is he a bantamweight?
Yeah, he's 135, which I think I'm not gonna talk too much shit, but Jared, my little brother, you can make 25. I'm pretty sure you could. You just you're liking being a chunky boy. But yeah. So it's like, that's funny. I've always said too. I'm like, dude, it's like out of South Carolina, and it's from the same area. We're all from the upstate of South Carolina, Greenville, Spartanburg area. It's like this little village in the country where karate guys come from. It's like, what?
It really is amazing. I do Kyokushin karate, which is like knockdown karate. So Ray, because Ray knows all the styles. Like I've spoken with Ray once, and Ray was just telling me. He goes, "Oh yeah," I know your style. He goes, "I respect it." He goes, "It's respect." He's like, "Anyone who does karate, I respect any martial art. I respect him, but yeah, Ray's an interesting guy. Like he's an archer too. What was it like being like? What was it like having class with him? Was he like the strict father to kind of teacher, or was he like a teacher that you loved being around, like to learn from?
Both, man. Ray's great instructor, great kickboxing coach, overall coach, man. It was good. It was good, man.
That's
Learned a
awesome. So
lot.
that's amazing. So, you come up on the so you came up into the UFC. You came when in the early days of the flyweight division, and
Mhm.
you started off your UFC career 2-0. And tell me what was that like when you got the call that hey, you're fighting in the flyweight division for the UFC? What was that feeling you had when you made it finally to the pros, to the big league pros, I should say?
So hold on, let me turn this air off real quick. It's gonna be
No
fucking
problem,
loud.
Justin.
So yeah, it's just right here. But yeah, so actually, like the way it happened, when I got signed was they called me. They called me first to fight, and I was supposed to fight Dustin Ortiz, my first
Mhm.
fight in the UFC, right? But that ended up not happening because of like some paperwork issues or
Mhm.
something like that. Commission shit. So I got signed, and I was kind of worried that like they weren't gonna sign me because they'll do that sometimes. Like if they'll sign you and it's your first fight and your fight drops out, then it's just like, well, tough luck,
Yeah.
keep fighting and maybe you'll come back. But let's see, I'm trying to think of how. I remember I tried out for the Ultimate Fighter and I actually made it on the show. Like I got the call back to do it, but like at that time it just like it didn't feel right for me. I don't know what the hell I was even thinking back then, but like I was younger then and kind of like I don't know, like I was undefeated at the time and I was like, I don't know if I have to. Like, I mean, and like now I see the benefits in it, like the publicity and like
Mhm.
getting your name out there and stuff. But back then I didn't look at it like that. You know what I mean? I was just like, oh my God, like I'll have to be away for 6 weeks and be stuck with all these dudes I don't know. Like I'm gonna kill somebody, man. But yeah, so I ended up not going on the show and like I remember my dad, he was like, "You motherfucker, man." He's like, "Why would you not go on the show, dude?" And I'm like, I'm gonna get in. I know I'm gonna get in another way. I'm like 6-0, got like all finishes, I'm like, they can't deny me. I'm doing this shit, but so I ended up getting the call to fight that Dustin Ortiz. It fell off. And
Mhm.
then they kept me and they were like, okay, we're gonna reschedule you to fight in Australia against Richie Vass. And dude, like Richie Vass is like he's more obscure. He kind of like he didn't do as well in the UFC. I mean, I was his first fight in the UFC, but like, dude, he beat some fucking good guys, and like he's a tough motherfucker that like he's known as being a tough dude in Australia and not just like as a martial artist. Like, nah, dog. He like Richie Vass gets down, dude, in the streets, So when I beat him, that was like a really big deal, And that was one of those fights to where it's like, okay, not only are you here in the UFC, but you just beat like a tough dude who's fought 35 most of his career, So that was big, So I mean, I'm just trying to get back.
Yeah, you made it, then you got your win, and then you fought Will Campuzano, and then you also beat a title challenger Ray Borg. That must have been a nice win for you because considering where Ray fought Mighty Mouse. So tell me about the fight against Ray Borg.
So I did that whole training camp actually back in Spartanburg. I had been an American Top Team for a couple years. I
Hmm.
mean, I would go back and forth, you know what I mean? Like I'd go down there for training camp, stay at the fighter house down there, and then I'd come back, see all my friends, my family and stuff, go back training camp, back and forth. But that one, I had gotten a place back in Spartanburg. Oh my bad. I had gotten a place back in Spartanburg, so I was staying home then, and I did my whole camp back in Spartanburg, and like it's funny because like I'd never really done a lot of camps after a certain point in Spartanburg because like I kind of like people are like they want you to branch out, you know what I mean? They want you to go other places, like people you've grown up with, they're like, yeah, we love you, man, but like, get the fuck out of here, dude. Like, that's why we want you to get out of here, is because we love you. You know what I mean? It's like, yeah, we got you. We always got your back for training camp, but like, go out into the world, and if you have the opportunity to like mix it up and train with all these different athletes and stuff, like, go do it.
Mm-hmm. Sorry for the little freeze there, guys. That happens. This is what happens with Zoom sometimes. Hopefully Justin's still there. I know he was charging his phone. So let me just make sure. Oh, there we go. Okay, yeah. You said
Sorry, my bad, dude. I didn't even notice when that cut out.
it happens. Don't worry. It's technology.
Messy
That's the
ass
good
man.
thing about this. It's like, think of Ariel Helwani's show. Think of all the times the guest froze on him. So it's okay. It happens to the best of us.
Stop it, dude. Good Lord, man.
Uh-oh. We lost him. Let me get him back in here. Okay, let me get him back in. Just getting him back in here. We lost him. This happens. It happens to everybody. Let me just make sure. I'm just texting Justin right now. So let me just make sure. Done this before. Happens to the best of us. Oh, there we go. Oh, he's back. He's back. Okay, happens there, Justin. Don't worry. We got you back. Don't worry. Can you hear me?
My bad, man. Shit.
It happens. I sent another email there by accident, but ignore that invite. It was just because of see if you could, but you have the original meeting ID. That's perfect. So yeah, you were saying the Ray Borg fight, like you were going back and forth. But before we talk about the fight with Ray Borg, you were actually you said you went to Top Team. So that's like, so Top Team is one of the best gyms. Like, did you get a chance to train with Lawler, Gamebred, Woodley, and Colby back then too?
I lived with Lawler.
No way. You lived with Ruthless.
Yeah, dude. He's a okay. Well, I can't say it's cheating because it's technically not cheating, but he's motherfucking deceptive in Madden when he plays, dude. So like, we used to play Madden at we lived at the firehouse. We used to have the same manager, and we all lived in the same firehouse, and we played Madden. And like, dude, I'll be like chugging my gallon of water, you know what I mean, like water loading or whatever. And he'd do like an onside kick while I'm loading, and he's like, "You gotta pay attention, man." I'm like, dude, fuck that. It's such bullshit.
He's
But
he's a legend, man. That's amazing. And you must have learned so much from just living with him about the fight game.
I'll tell you the biggest thing, because like obviously if you watch like me and Robbie fight, like that's opposite styles, but
Yeah.
like the biggest thing I learned from Robbie was how to be a savage and be chill, and how that makes you scarier than everybody.
I know. Robbie's he's such an animal. That's the guy that got me into fighting, actually, believe it or not.
How do you do that?
Well, I got into MMA in 2015. I'm a very late bloomer, but the fights I watched were the first DC Jones fight, the Gegard Mousasi versus Dan Henderson in Sweden, and then the Lawler McDonald 2 card. And that's when I got bit by the bug. So that second Lawler McDonald fight, look, I'm Canadian. I know you should cheer for Rory, but I'm different. So I was rooting for Robbie that day.
Right. Yeah,
Yeah,
dude. Robbie's hard not to root for, honestly. He's one of those guys, you know.
he seems so calm, but then when that cage door closes, that savage mode comes on. I see what you mean there. That's what he taught you. I see what you mean there by that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's always chill, man. He's always chilling, nice, smiling, laughing.
What
Then he turns into a killer.
what are your thoughts on his fight in July being the last fight and also being inducted into the Hall of Fame? Do you think the timing is perfect?
I mean, that's always up to the fighter, man. Mm-hmm. It's up to you when you're done. When you feel like you don't want to fight anymore, that's it. You know, that just be done with it, and then don't come back. Because of course you're gonna feel like, oh, fuck, I want to do that again. But it's like, no, you stopped wanting to, so commit to it. You know.
Exactly. Exactly. It's very true. Once you're out, you're out.
You
Either you're
stop
all
wanting to
in.
for a reason.
Exactly. And let me ask you, so you also fought in Icon, and you've also were supposed to fight. You also fought in Risen, actually. What did it feel like going to Japan, like the home of karate? What was that experience like for you?
I mean, Japan was cool. Uh, I mean, the thing is about like, especially when you cut weight a lot, which I guess I wasn't cutting too bad in Japan, but they always bring me out really close to the fight. You know what I mean? So it's like, or they're like, it's I don't know, it's always kind of close to the fight when they bring me out. So things feel a little rushed, and you're getting off the flight, and you're jet lagged, and then like, okay, so it's like this. So you go to cut weight, and I'm like, fuck, okay, I'll go find a sauna, get my sweats on, my sweet sweat on, or my albaline on, whatever, and get in there and start sweating. And get to the sauna, and the Japanese guy working there is like no tattoos, no tattoos, and I'm like,
Oh
oh fuck. I was like, all right, well,
no.
I was like, I'll just leave my shirt on. He's like, no clothes, no clothes, and I'm like, okay, so I can't go in the sauna, so, so okay, I was like, okay, well, I guess I'll cut it in the hot tub, So they did let me do that. They let me wear long sleeves and sit in the hot tub.
That's crazy. Yeah, but it's because, as you know, with the tattoos, they probably will think you're like some in a rival yakuza gang, which can be common.
Mm,
And it's like the guy probably saved your life in a sense, because he didn't want you to get killed or something. Maybe, you never know, because they don't play in Asia, man. They don't play in Asia, Justin. They are serious with their traditions.
oh yeah, they keeps it real.
They really do. Did you enjoy the food at least down there? How was the tell to eating authentic Japanese food must have been the most fun part after the fight.
mm, I don't know. I might disappoint you there, man. I'm kind of a picky eater, god dang country boy, man. Like I'll fight. We went to Hooters. Yeah.
I'm not hating. You got to do you have to do what's right for you.
Yeah, I think we went to Hooters and got wings.
Nice, nice, man. That's what you got to do. Sometimes it's better to have like stuff that's familiar with home, if it makes it you feel better.
I'm pretty sure I had some sushi too. I like sushi.
Everyone loves sushi, except for a few, but that makes sense. But the sushi in Japan must have been way better than the sushi out in the US.
Yeah, I don't know why I can't remember. I wasn't there that long. That's the thing, is they fly me out so close to the fight that it's like, boom, you're there, you're cutting weight, you're fighting, and you're getting shuttled everywhere. You know what I mean? Because they're very professional over there, dude.
Mm.
Uh, like the way they run their shows and stuff. It used to be Pride, basically. That's what it's turned into now. They're building back up. But I mean, it's cool. It's a cool show. Japan's cool. It's cool city. I haven't been there in the spring yet when they have like, I can't remember what the flowers are that bloom there, but it's like a big thing there.
The cherry blossoms, that's what they are. That's the cherry blossom, yeah.
Look at you, man. Look at the brain on this guy.
I look, I mean, look, I'm going there in December, so I'm going there in December, so I got to get ready. I got to know my facts. I got to know my stuff before I travel, like, before that flight leaves. So I'm excited for it. Like, it's going to be good. And so now with XMMA, you had your recent fight with XMMA, amazing win. What's the plan next? Is it going to be to try to get another fight with them, or are you trying to get back into the UFC, or looking at other options? What is the plan for you with the rest of 2023?
All three of those. Possibly
Nice.
XMMA. They haven't. I don't think they've set down a date for the next show exactly yet. But
Okay.
I've talked to Jordan and Andy Hall with XMMA. They're excited to have me back if I'm open there. And that's what's so cool about XMMA. And as the guy who's been in this game for a while now, that I really appreciate is that like they give you the platform. It's like, we are here for you to build to the UFC. You know what I mean? They're not trying to yeah, at the end of the day, you're trying to make money and stuff, and you're trying to like promote stars and local guys and shit like that. But like, they're cool with being a feeder. to the UFC. You know what I mean? Like, and not just to like up and coming guys. You know what I mean? Because I've had like, there's some organizations that are like, you know, they only want guys that are like, you know, the 6-0 guys or 7-0 guys. You know, they're early in their careers and they're undefeated, right? They don't have much. They don't want the vets.
Mm-hmm.
So XMMA, you know, gives a platform for everybody to build. You know what I mean? UFC
Mm-hmm.
vet could fight, you know, one of these guys who is 6-0, 7-0, you know, and that could either be the ex UFC vet, his chance back in, or that could be that dude's chance into the UFC for the first time. You know what I mean? So it's like, come on, let's all like get together, get organized, and like really like put the best where they should be. You know what I mean? Because like that's the thing right now. All respect, like the UFC is the best show in the world, but I really don't feel like right now at 125 pounds, like I'm not in there. I can honestly say, no, it's not. No, it's not the best.
Yeah, I
I
mean,
should be in there.
we want to have you back. Like, I mean, you were there before, and like I was following you when I started taking up karate, and it was like, and then you left. You know, you went to fight elsewhere, and I was like, where's Scoggins? Where's Tank? And then now you're back, and I saw
Yeah.
you on XMMA, and that's where I said I got to get Justin Scoggins on, because I remember when I watched you in your early days of the UFC. My shout out to my friend Adam of AC Radio of AC MMA. He's like, yeah, he was like he was basically saying like, yeah, like what was he saying, man? He said, oh yeah, he's like, you got to follow this guy because he's like, he's your style, like that's the guy you should follow. Like, and then now you have Karate Combat. If they came to you and said, hey, we want you to fight in a karate event, would you do Karate Combat too, or like are you focused more on MMA because you see what they're doing? And then there's also XMMA and the springboard to get back into the big league. So what's the plan now for if they came to you and said, "Hey, let's fight in Karate Combat"? Would you do it?
Well, I mean, honestly, man, like, let's see. I'm training for MMA right now. Like,
Mm-hmm.
that's how my training spoke. Center training for an MMA fight, right? So the thing is like when you get those calls for something like that, like you're fighting guys who that's what they do all the time. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, I grew up like I was amateur like kickboxing world champion, and I've been a striker my whole life. But like striking in MMA is different than that striking. It's different than boxing. It's different than bare knuckle boxing, right? It's a different range and shit. So when you try to
Mm-hmm.
just jump into a different sport like that, like, dude, you don't. It's almost like it's really hard to calibrate in that time.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And I guess like, I mean, like I just you learn and you get wiser and stuff. But you know, I would prefer not to jump into something that I'm not committed to, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like if I'm doing Karate Combat, okay, now this is different. This is a different range, it's a different game. It's time to adjust to what I'm doing now. This is a new martial art I'm doing, right? But
Amazing.
while I'm in this game, yeah, I'm gonna commit to that. You know what I mean? And you know, but at the end of the day, dude, too, like I'm a fighter. I'm a prize fighter. That's my job, and I got to get paid.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like I'm not, you know, I'm not in this for the money. I'm in this out to prove that I'm the best on the biggest stage. But at the end of the day, dude, like I'm literally out here. And that's one thing too, is like I've been trying to show is like, dude, I'm fighting for my way back. Like literally whatever fight it is. Like I'm bare knuckle out here grinding my way through it. You know what I mean? So,
Mm-hmm.
you know, all I ask is everybody pay attention, is like see the skill set that I'm bringing, and not only that, like the grittiness and violence that I can bring to it, to a fight. You know what I mean? It's like I got both those when you watch me fight. Like how am I not on the biggest stage? With all due respect.
Exactly. Well, you know, Justin, I'm really impressed with you. You know, it was a great win. I have no doubt that you're going to be making it back to the big leagues in no time. And you got a bright future ahead of you, man. You're only 31. There's still
Mm-hmm.
time. You're gonna make it
Yes,
back.
sir.
You're gonna challenge for the belt, whether it's Moreno, Pantoja, or Askar. I do believe you can stand with anyone at 125. And obviously, like I'm supporting you in your journey because it was great to see you back at XMMA, and I remember your name when I first came up. Where can people connect with you if they want to see where you're at, what you're doing? Because you are on a journey of greatness.
Oh man, I appreciate you saying that, dude. That means yeah, dude. Thank you. But if you want to get at me, you can hit me up on Instagram at tank_Scoggins, I believe it is.
Hmm.
On Facebook, I have a fan page.
Hmm.
It's Justin Tank Scoggins. Hey, you can always, if you train, you do martial arts, come by Roots Combat Club out in West Bloomfield, Michigan. That's where I'm at now, up here in Michigan. And try out a class, try out a week of classes, whatever, man. Come train with us. We got world champions, world class instructors, and shout out to James Lee, mine and Jared Brooks' head coach, who he's low key the best MMA coach in the world, man. And like people are gonna find out because it's like, okay, we're Jared Brooks. Who's this guy coach? You know what I mean? It's
Hmm.
like, and then it's like I'm gonna get up there. I'm gonna get me a gold strap too, and everybody's gonna notice. It's like we got it going on.
Amazing. Well, Justin, I really want to thank you for coming on. It was a pleasure to do this finally, and I appreciate the support you have when you saw some of my content. It means a lot to me, and keep up the amazing work. And let's do this again sometime on an
No,
IG
don't cut
live,
out right at the
perhaps.
end. No,
Oh no, no, I just said like
no,
thanks for
good.
the
We're bad. We're
support.
good.
Yeah, I just said thanks for the support, and like it means a lot to me when you said, "Yeah, I see your stuff and you're doing good, man." So that means a lot to me, as as I told you, you're on a journey of greatness. So if you ever want to come on again, doors open. We'll do an Instagram live next time where it's longer, and the Instagram lives are better. But it was great to do this, and if you ever want to, and I wish you the greatest success in your journey, buddy.
Dude, absolutely, man. It was great talking to you. You're easy to talk to. You're fun to talk to, and you ask different questions than a lot of stuff that you get all the time, and I appreciate that. And yeah, I hope everybody enjoyed it.
Perfect. Guys, make sure to like, share, subscribe button to the Drewsperience, all platforms. Follow your favorite Jewish gangster, Drew the Jew. Make sure to follow Tank Scoggins and the Combat Club he's at in Michigan. So give him some love. Drewsperience out.